Hello everyone, welcome to this year's LIHO preseason meeting. I'm Jim Gagliard.
And I'm Eric Galata.
We want to welcome you to another season of high school hockey. This year we thought we'd change it up a little bit. We've had our meetings previously at USA's Hockey Arena, CJ's. Low turnout during time of the year, everybody's busy, so we thought we'd try something different. Make a little YouTube video, go over some things that we'd like to cover, and get the season started. This is not a major rule change year, but we do have a few that we'd like to go over for the upcoming season. Eric, why don't you start with the first one for this year?
Yeah, no problem. So the first one that they're just clarifying some language. So the maximum stick length this year is going to be 65 inches. The widened portion of the goalkeeper stick is going to be 28 inches.
Right. Nothing drastic there, just cleaned it up. Second one is 3-4-5. It has to do with helmets and face mask language, which is clarified. And a note was added that shelf life of a HEC equipment listed as 6.5 years from the date of manufacture. Most high school players are not in the league for 6.5 years, so let's hope they're not buying used equipment.
They're not, but hockey's an expensive game, and hand-me-downs go a long way.
All right, moving on, Eric. Go ahead.
So on the next one, added language regarding who may defend the goal during a penalty shot. Most times, nobody's going to put a defenseman or a forward in net, but this rule cleans that up and said a goalkeeper must be in net during a penalty.
All right, moving on to 5-3I. Change the duty of a referee. Suspend, not terminate the game if playing conditions become unsatisfactory. Eric, moving on to 7-10-3.
So this just cleans up the language regarding high sticking infraction. I mean, nothing really changed there, just cleaning it up in the book.
All right, moving on to 9-1-2. It changes how the official shall drop the puck for a face-off. Official shall now present the puck and drop it from there. And the last one, Eric?
Last one, Rule 9-1-9E. This just cleans up the language regarding a face-off location. If the puck were to deflect off an official and into the net, now that face-off will stay at the nearest end zone face-off spot.
Well, that's the rule changes for this year.
Oh, moving on to overtime procedures. So nothing has changed from years past, guys. They're still the same from prior years. We will post these online so that you're able to see them and everybody has them.
It was brought up, Eric and I went to the meeting up in East Lansing, and there is so much craziness when it comes to overtime, whether they have the ice time, the bus schedule. What you're required to do as an official before the game starts is get with both coaches to clarify what they're going to do in the event of a tie. Don't wait until there's about a minute to go in the game and then start asking around, because one team feels lucky enough to be tied, they're going to terminate that game. So check with both teams, make sure the scorekeeper understands, and follow the overtime procedures.
All right, now we want to move into DQ reports. So these are pretty easy to fill out. The most important part here is fill them out in a timely manner and fill them out correctly. We have to have these in 48 hours after the incident. If nobody's done this before, ask somebody who has. It's very easy. You go on the MHSAA site. You're able to add in all the school's information, your information, the partners that you skated with, and then you essentially just write down what happened. Now, you don't need to tell a whole story and write a book, but you can't just write one sentence either. You got to kind of paint a picture of what happened out there.
Yeah, we'll post this on our website also, and that brings me to another issue we had the last couple years, is score sheets. I'll get a call from a coach or an AD, and there was an incident report given to them, but when they got a copy of the score sheet, they couldn't read the name of the officials on the game or their numbers. So what you need to do before the game starts is obviously check the score sheet for players and make sure it's correct, but also sign your name, print your name, and make sure that your ID number is legible to all. Very important. I get 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 calls a year on this that they can't figure out who the officials are, especially if they want to rate the officials. The other thing about reports, there's also a spot on there that for sportsmanship. You don't necessarily have to write a report for a DQ. You can write a sportsmanship, good or bad. If you come off the ice and there's nobody there to greet you, make sure that you get to the locker room safe, or there's problems in the crowd, or there's no staff on duty, go ahead and send a report, because Cody has told us that him and Brent Rice will follow up on this the next day along with the AD to make sure it's corrected. Your safety is priority one when leaving that arena. If there's no one there to help you off the ice, let them know, and Eric and we'll take it from there. Well, it's time for our favorite part, the online rules meeting. Eric, go ahead and let them know the dates and what's going on with that.
Yeah, believe it or not, this is one thing that we struggle the most with. This year, the online rules meeting will be open on 10/7, and it'll go through 12/10. So, guys, this is it's a half-hour video, if that. As Jimmy has said in the past, it'll take you one beer to take it.
Right.
Just sit through it. There's some questions you'll have to answer at the end. If you get them wrong, you're just going to have to answer them again. It's no big deal.
Right.
The main issue we faced in the past is, unfortunately, only half our group only takes this online rules meeting. That's important for a couple of reasons. One, it's the new rules for the year, so it emphasizes the things that we've already gone over previously. And also, it makes you eligible for postseason consideration for regionals. We only had half the guys take it last year, so that means we can only use half the officials. So it's real important that everybody takes this so they know the rules and they're eligible to skate postseason games.
Right. And also, there'll be an online rules test that I don't have the dates for yet, but it's usually late November, maybe early December. This is also required to skate high school quarter, semi, and final games. Now, keep in mind, these rules, meetings, and tests are for you to know the rules prior to stepping on the ice. I've heard comments, well, I never get a quarterfinal or a regional final. That's a pretty lame excuse. You should know the rules. For those of you who take USA hockey tests, that's quite a process. These tests are very easy. I still take them even though I don't skate anymore. Plus, it's embarrassing when it's time for me to turn in names for the state finals, quarters, and semis, and I got less than 12 to 15 people to take the online rules test. So this year, as in the past, once you take the online rules meeting, you need to send us a copy of your certificate when it's done. And also, when the rules meeting is available, you need to send us a copy that you passed this test. For anybody that's new to LIHO and to MHSA hockey, we use Arbiter Sports, which we pay for. But in there is all of your information that we need. We don't need your social security number in there, but we do need your ID number posted in it. There's a spot for it. Your correct address. When they send out some information from the state, it's important that it's in there. It helps me when it's time to fill out the postseason consideration form. So if you can get that updated for us, that would be great. And that takes us to the updates of the calendars and accept and decline, Eric.
Yeah, guys. I mean, this is how you're going to get games. So, I mean, if your calendar's not updated, we may schedule you for a game where you're already skating or you're out of town and you got to turn it back. Or B, if you block out a date that you can skate, then we can't schedule you for a game that day. So that's important to have your calendars updated. Try to update it as often as possible because we know things change as time goes on. But then the next important part is once you are assigned games, to accept and decline them as soon as possible. We understand that sometimes people have things come up and you got to turn back games. Well, that's where other people who may not have gotten as many games as they want, they'll have opportunity to get more games. So accept and decline those games as soon as possible, guys, so we know what's available.
Brings us to turnbacks also. When you need to turn a game back, don't become an assigner. You must leave it to Eric and I, Brian, or Jim, and we'll assign the game. There's various reasons for that. One of them is pay. If you just assign the game to someone else, they skate the name, your name's on Arbiter, the teams pay off of Arbiter.
Yeah, you're not going to get paid.
Right, you're not going to get paid, and then we have to jump through a lot of hoops to get your money.
And you're calling us to chase them down for money, and we don't want to be the middleman. So if you got to turn a game back, just let us know.
Part of the thing that we provide is the payment for Arbiter mobile app. Eric, you want to tell them about it?
So this is a real nice feature. I mean, we all live on our cell phones, our smartphones these days. This Arbiter app, you're able to view your games that day. You're able to accept and decline games on that app. And you're also getting updates or reminders that, hey, I got to skate a game in a couple of days. So this app kind of gives you all that information so that you know where to go, you know what time to be there, and you know who you're skating with. And not only who you're skating with, but their contact information. If you're running late or they're running late, you're able to get a hold of them. So it's a really nice tool that we provide. So we just want people to use that as much as possible.
Well, Eric, you know this is my favorite part, that I hate the police and I hate to be the dress code police, but what we like to see is dress pants, dress shirt, dress shoes, arrive on time.
And a tie.
And a tie. Don't forget tie. Tie is very important. The players show up that way. The coaches show up that way. The athletic directors. Let's be presentable. Let's be professional when we show up to the rink. It sends a bad message to the team and the coaches and AD when they shake someone's hand and introduce themselves, and they're kind of dressed like they just plowed the neighbor's driveway, you know. So we understand it's the winter season, but let's look professional when we hit the ice, which also brings us to your attire on the ice and the time you get on the ice. Eric, you want to start there?
Yeah, so I mean, half the battle is appearance. If you look good, automatically coaches are going to think you know what you're doing and you know the rules. So come out on the ice, you know, make sure your shirt's clean, you know, there's not a black puck mark where there should be a white stripe. You know, your pants look good, they're not full of skate marks or sticks or puck marks, and you got clean white laces in your skates, guys. Again, if you look good out there, it's going to go a long way with the coaches.
One thing that we want to see is that you were on the ice prior to the teams, before warm-ups and before each period. Nothing upsets me more than teams are skating around the ice. Maybe they don't like each other. Maybe they had a bad first game, and they're just skating around looking for trouble. On the ice, get the nets pegged, be ready to go. Introduce yourself to the coaches. This doesn't have to be a long story. Hey, coach, how you doing? Everything good? Are your players properly equipped? What's the overtime procedure? All right, thanks. Head over to the other bench, get that cleared up, and same procedure, overtime. Tell the scorekeeper about it, and now we're firm before we get to that last minute of play, which causes a lot of confusion and could get ugly at times.
Yeah, and with on-ice time, guys, we understand that some of these rinks, they forget to build referees' rooms, so they've got you in Timbuktu out there, and you can't see the ice surface. So if you're not sure, go find somebody, an administrator, somebody. Find out what time everybody's going on the ice for warm-ups and the pregame procedures so that we're out there before the players.
Each year we require officials to pay a fee to belong to our association. This helps cover our costs as far as training, arbiter sports, paperwork, daily emails from coaches, athletic directors, scheduling games, snow emergencies, reschedules, and that. Our fee is $60 per official, less than one game fee. We've kept it at that price for quite a while. That covers our expenses.
Yep.
And Eric, we have a couple different ways that officials can pay for our joining our association.
Yeah, so we know for a lot of people writing a check or bumping into us in the rink, it can kind of be difficult. So this season we're going to get with the times, and we're going to begin using PayPal. So we'll get that information out to everybody. It seems to be a lot easier for people just to pay electronically as opposed to writing a check or giving us cash in the rink. So we'll let you guys know when that's up and running.
Over the last couple years, what we like to do is just schedule twice a year. Please update your calendars as soon as you can. I'm still getting schedules in from teams and athletic directors, which is a battle. But we will schedule in late October to try to get it covered through December 31st. And then we'd like to meet first week in December to schedule through the end of the year. Now, I know when you get a game that's 6 weeks out, it's tough to understand if you can accept or decline a game, but As the game gets closer, within a couple weeks, 3 weeks, we'd like for you to accept those games. And if we assign you a game that shows that you're open and you turn it back, we typically count that as a game that you've received for your total count of games. We just ask every so often, go on there and update, because we get turnbacks, and as quickly as we get a turnback, we have to get it back out. So we just jump on the website, see who's available, and assign that game. For turnbacks, questions, anything pertaining to the season, when you reply to an email one of us sends out, we need you to also reply back and send it to all 4 of us. Myself, Eric, Jim Krecklau, Brian Chesman. We'll put the information on there, but their email address is on there along with their phone numbers. If I'm not available, one of us needs to see it, especially if it's a game coming up pretty quickly. One of us will get back to you as soon as possible. You know, as you know, Eric, getting officials is a battle. So to try to get the average age, which currently is 57 years of age in the high school ranks of officiating, the state has sent us 2 vouchers for new officials only to waive the fee for their first year. So if you know any of the officials, please contact me ASAP. We'll get this to them, and they can sign up the first year and send their names along to us, and we'll get them signed up.
Yep.
Well, a lot of times throughout the season, you might see me at the rink evaluating everybody, especially the new guys, or you might not see me. Sometimes I'll pop in for a period and get out of there. We hope you have a great hockey season this year, and thanks for being part of our organization. Eric, anything final?
No, as always, guys, feel free to email us or call us with any questions regarding rules, whatever. We hope you guys have a good year.
All right, thank you.